The night was silent on Highway 200 near Circle, Montana. The kind of silence that feels alive, almost breathing. A car drifts across the yellow line, headlights collide, and two lives cross in a way that would change one of them forever. A young woman steps out of her wrecked car. She looks dazed, her eyes distant, almost as if she's watching herself from outside her body. And then, without saying a word, she walks away into the dark, and no one ever sees her again. That woman's name was Patricia Meehan, and her disappearance remains one of the strangest mysteries in American history. Early life. Patricia Meehan was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1951. She grew up in a warm, close-knit family. Her parents, Dolly and Peter Meehan, described her as a gentle, intelligent, and deeply sensitive soul. From a young age, Patricia loved animals. She had a unique gift for calming frightened horses or injured birds. That love led her to study early childhood education at Oklahoma State University. But her real passion was psychology and understanding human behavior. Friends often said Patricia had a quiet intensity about her. She could sense emotions others couldn't. But sometimes, that same sensitivity made her retreat from people. She would disappear for hours into nature, sitting silently as if searching for peace that the world couldn't give her. In the mid-1980s, Patricia moved to Montana, a land of wide-open skies and solitude. She worked odd jobs, lived simply, and spoke often about wanting a fresh start. But those close to her noticed subtle changes. She seemed restless, withdrawn, as if something invisible was pressing on her mind. The final day, April 20, 1989. On April 20th, 1989, Patricia Meehan woke early in her small Billings apartment. She fed her cat, packed a few belongings, and told no one where she was going. That afternoon, she drove east on Highway 200. Witnesses later said she appeared lost in thought, staring blankly at the road. Around 8:15 p.m., she was spotted at a McDonald's in Circle, Montana. The cashier remembered her clearly, a petite woman with long blonde hair, speaking softly, almost mechanically. Then, at around 9:15 p.m., came the crash. A pickup truck driven by a woman named Anna Conrad was heading west. Patricia's car suddenly veered into her lane. Both vehicles collided head-on. Miraculously, no one was seriously injured. Anna stumbled out, dazed but alive. She saw Patricia step out of her car slowly. Patricia didn't run. She didn't scream. She simply looked at Anna and then at herself. "She looked at me," Anna said later, then turned toward the car window, almost like she was looking at her own reflection. She just stared for the longest time. Then, Patricia turned and walked away into the dark. The disappearance. Search teams arrived within hours. Police, dogs, helicopters, they combed the area for miles. They found footprints leading toward a nearby field, and then nothing, no body, no blood, no sign of struggle, just gone. Her car was left behind, purse, ID, even her cat's photo still inside. The only thing missing was Patricia. Local residents joined the search. Ranchers rode horses across miles of land, calling her name. The Montana Highway Patrol expanded the search radius, 5 miles, 10 miles, 30 miles. Nothing. The weather turned cold. Days became weeks, and then the first sighting came. The first sightings. A truck driver called police. "I saw a woman walking along the highway. Blonde hair, green jacket. She looked lost." A few hours later, another report came in from Lavina, nearly 100 miles away. A woman matching Patricia's description was seen at a diner, sitting silently, staring out the window. By the end of the week, more reports came in Great Falls, in Bozeman, even as far away as Seattle. Every description was eerily similar: a quiet woman, often alone, distant eyes, moving without purpose. The reports multiplied, and soon, the mystery of the woman on the road began to grow. Media frenzy. By early May 1989, Patricia Meehan's story had captured national attention. Her photo appeared on newspapers, TV, and missing person posters across the country. The image that haunted everyone was taken just hours before the crash. Her driver's license photo, calm, serene, almost unreal. But what really captured the public imagination was what Anna Conrad had said. She looked into the window like she was looking at herself. That phrase, "the woman who looked at herself," became the headline everywhere. Psychologists, reporters, and ordinary people began to wonder. Was Patricia having a breakdown? Did she forget who she was? Or did she choose to disappear? Family and hope. Meanwhile, her parents were devastated. Dolly and Peter Meehan flew to Montana immediately. They posted flyers, offered a $25,000 reward, and appeared on national television. Dolly's voice trembled as she spoke to the cameras. "Patty, if you can hear me, please call home. We love you. We're not angry. We just want to know you're safe." Their search became one of the most persistent missing person efforts of the 1980s. Leads came and went. Witnesses called. Psychics offered theories, but nothing brought Patricia back. The Meehans refused to give up. The expanding mystery. Days turned into weeks, then months, but the mystery of Patricia Meehan only deepened. The police received calls from across the Northwest. Someone saw her at a truck stop in Washington. Another claimed she was cleaning tables at a diner in Idaho. One woman swore she saw Patricia in Wyoming, quiet, polite, and lost. In all, there would be more than 500 reported sightings of Patricia Meehan over the next few years. Each one seemed plausible. Each one gave her parents a flicker of hope, and each one ended the same way: disappointment. The stranger on the road. One truck driver told police, "She walked up to me at a rest stop. I offered her coffee. She looked right into my eyes and said, 'I'm looking for myself.' Then she turned and walked away." Another couple reported seeing her outside a church, barefoot, staring up at the steeple. When they approached, she smiled faintly and whispered something they couldn't understand. Every story sounded like a ghost sighting. A woman there one moment, gone the next, a reflection more than a person. The public began calling her the woman who walks the highways. Theories and speculations. With so many sightings and no solid proof, theories multiplied. Some said she had suffered amnesia, a psychological condition in which a person forgets their identity and starts a new life. Others believed she might have dissociative fugue, where trauma causes the mind to split from reality entirely. Experts weighed in on television shows and newspapers. Psychologists explained that Patricia's pre-existing stress, her isolation, and possible mental exhaustion could have triggered a fugue state. In this condition, a person can walk away from everything: their name, their past, their memories, and live as someone else. If true, Patricia might still be alive somewhere, simply not knowing who she was. Family's endless search. For her parents, every rumor mattered. They traveled thousands of miles, Montana, Washington, Idaho, chasing every lead. They met truckers, waitresses, farmers, anyone who might have seen their daughter. They appeared on TV, spoke with journalists, and never once gave up. Patricia's mother, Dolly, once told a reporter, "Every time the phone rings, I think it's her. Every time I see a woman with blonde hair on the road, I wonder, could that be my Patty?" The Meehans hired private investigators. They followed reports into forests, bus stations, small towns. But Patricia remained a shadow, always seen, never found. Media and myth. By the early 1990s, Patricia Meehan had become a legend. Her face was on America's Most Wanted. Magazines called her the woman in the mirror. That nickname came from what Anna Conrad, the crash witness, said. "She didn't look at me. She looked at herself like she was staring into a mirror." That haunting image became symbolic. People began to see Patricia not just as a missing woman, but as a reflection of something deeper, a person lost in her own reflection, a soul searching for itself in a world that no longer made sense. Years pass. Time moved on. Patricia Meehan's case faded from headlines, but her family's hope never dimmed. Her father passed away in the late 1990s, still believing his daughter was alive somewhere. Before he died, he told a friend, "I'll see her again, maybe not here, but somewhere." Her mother, Dolly, continued the search alone until her death in 2010. She left behind boxes of letters, clippings, and maps marked with every reported sighting. Even after all those years, no trace of Patricia was ever found, no remains, no confirmed identity, nothing. Just silence and mystery. Psychological reflection. If Patricia truly lost herself that night, her story forces a chilling question. What happens when a person's identity breaks so completely that they simply walk away from it? Is she still out there, living quietly under another name? Did she ever look into a mirror and remember who she was? Or did she, in some way, vanish beyond the reflection, forever trapped in the space between who she was and who she became? It has been more than 3 decades since that night on Highway 200. No one has ever found Patricia Meehan. But her story lives on in documentaries, in internet forums, in the hearts of those who still search for answers. "Maybe she didn't disappear," one journalist wrote. "Maybe she simply walked into the mirror and kept walking." To this day, people claim to see her. A quiet blonde woman walking along highways, eyes distant, lost in thought. They say she looks peaceful. They say she looks free. And maybe that's the final truth, that Patricia Meehan didn't run from life. She just crossed to the other side of her own reflection and kept walking into the mystery.